He had no Ohio State, Penn State at home. But the out-of-conference, you play Notre Dame, obviously your annual rival, and then they open Labor Day weekend with LSU in Vegas. And so that, to me, feels like about as consequential a game for both teams as you can have in this 12-team playoff era because, LSU, I think the perception would just be bad. But I think with both of those teams, even in a 12-team playoff era, you start to look at their schedules and say if they lose that game, it's going to be hard to see the pathway for either team to make the playoff or, frankly, probably in USC's case, even be in contention. So I'm not as down on Lincoln Riley as everybody else. I don't think, I think he could go 4-8 and he'd still be retained as head coach. But I also do think from his perception, it is a pretty big year in terms of an ability to prove that last year was a one-off and that you're not overrated, that you weren't coaching at a school at Oklahoma where you inherited everything from Bob Stoops, stuff like that.
Tell you, a team to watch, and I think this is understood in the Big Ten, and a young coach, who hasn't left one head coaching job for another because of a perception of a league potentially. It's Dan Lanning, who was taken from one league to another, and you look at what Oregon's got coming back. They got coming in a quarterback, Gabriel from Oklahoma. The fact that their toughest games, I think, are at home. The one road trip that would be concerning is going to Ann Arbor and playing Michigan. It's not last year's Michigan team, but that's a program that definitely can, I think, step into that league and probably have, I wouldn't say more success than people are expecting, but it's almost like Texas coming into the SEC, coming into the league and coming in pretty much ready to play in this league. I know there's a lot of fans listening right now, Aaron, that think Texas, because of the schedule that you usually play in the SEC, is going to stumble along the line once or twice, and they might be right about that. But I do see that program is ready to come in and compete immediately, maybe contend for a league title. Same with Oregon in the Big Ten.
Zero doubt. And I think the thing that stands out about Oregon, and I don't know if it's because Dan Lanning's a former defensive coach, played a linebacker, DC at Georgia under Kirby Smart, et cetera. I think, it's one thing to come into this league, but they kind of fit the profile of the league too. And I think that's kind of what's curious to me. Everybody talks about the weather and this and that. One thing you can't deny about the Big Ten, it is a physical brand of football. Not just with Michigan coming off a national championship, but even those teams that are kind of in the middle of the pack. I mean, Nebraska, for all their struggles through the years, always, especially last year under Matt Rule, had like a top 15, top 20 defense. We know about Iowa's defense. And the thing that stands out about Oregon is that, they're not going to be pushed around along both lines. And I know that part of it is that, their NIL setup is pretty good. That's obviously been a topic of conversation the last couple of months. But they have the bodies that you need to compete on a week-in, week-out basis in that league or any league, honestly. But obviously them joining the Big Ten, we talk about that. And that's the one thing where I think USC maybe will have a little bit more success because offensively they're pretty dynamic. But there's going to be at least 1 to 2 games this year where USC just maybe it's not quite clicking offensively, and I think they maybe just get pushed around a little bit. The one thing about Oregon, they will never get pushed around, and I am fascinated to watch them this season in the Big Ten. Ohio State is the rightful favorite, but as you alluded to, Phil, they get Ohio State at home, and I think they're ready to compete with anybody in that league this season.
Of course, you can't do a segment about college athletics without bringing up NIL. That's going to be something that drives conversations here. And it was interesting seeing a little back and forth with Kirby Smart and Dan Lanning, two good friends, a mentor to a student, one complaining about somebody else's NIL, and then we're like pretending that Georgia doesn't have NIL money. Just looking at Mark Stoops' comments, about what he's got to do in order to be a head coach at Kentucky now. I think he said he spends 3/4 of his time raising money, and I'm sure that's not what he originally thought he was signing up for as a head coach in football, but the last contract he signed, I think he would have expected this is happening. So exactly. And then look what's going on with potential scholarship limits and roster changes and everything. It's just you think you're getting used to the way that things are done now, and now you're going to find next year you got to find a whole new way to do it.
Oh no, 100%. And and I think that to me, and I know that we've talked the three of us over the last couple of weeks, is we all love this. This is our livelihood. The consumer, the people that are listening to us obviously love this as well. But I think we all agree, and I said this a few weeks ago, is can we just get to the end point? Whatever the end point is, especially in football, is it, 24 teams? Is it 36 teams? Is it 50 teams? Whatever. Break them off, have them do their own thing, and then get back to some sense of normalcy with everything else. Because you mentioned, Phil, now we're changing roster sizes. The portal cycle in basketball is going to change next year a little bit. Oh, by the way, we hear that Florida State and Clemson, are going to be in the ACC for at least another year, but that doesn't guarantee anything beyond that. And it's like, it is frustrating. And I do think, obviously, from a coach's perspective, and we've heard coaches say this, is every 6 months, every 6 to 9 months, there's just fundamental, monumental changes going on, and nobody feels sympathy for the head coach that's making $6, $7, $8 million a year in football or whatever. But it is chaos. It is unsustainable. I mean, even Mac Brown, who I actually think is a little whiny because he had a lot to do with some of these changes, but he said there's been more change in the last 3 years than in his first 47 years in college sports. And that might sound like hyperbole, but I actually don't think it is if you think about where we were, say, in the spring and summer of 2021 versus the spring and summer of 2024.
Yeah, it is.
It's absolutely wild. And, I've been kicking around what I think the changes in college baseball need to have 34 scholarships. I've been talking about 105 for football. Basketball going 13 to 15. How do you think that changes how you put a team together, if much, for an SEC team? So you're talking about, Cal's even saying 8 or 9 man rotation. Must with 7 or 8. Do you need the 15 scholarships? You're going to get them. Might as well give them out.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've been asked that a few times this week, and actually we have a minute. I would like your perspective on what all this means for baseball. But from the basketball perspective, it's funny because everybody, in college sports, obviously we all know wants more, and everybody does in society, whatever. But I think most coaches are like, you could take a couple of these scholarships. I don't need 13. And, I will say, I do think it's interesting. We're obviously entering the final year of the COVID senior. So you're going to just by math numbers have to take more high school players. But, I think Cal's the best example this offseason of him. He basically got to 9 and he said, I'm not taking anybody else that can play. It's like, you're basically coming here to be a practice player, to understand, to understand the assignment, to understand that, if you have any role at all on this team, it's going to be pretty minimal. And so to now add 2 more scholarships to that, I could just go through the teams. UConn doesn't have a full 12 scholarships. Obviously, Arkansas, or 13 scholarships. Arkansas, I don't know if it has 13 scholarships, but they certainly don't have 13 guys that they expect to play. Kentucky's a guy shorter. You just go on and on down the list. Most schools aren't even trying to build 13 right now, and now you're adding 2 more. So I just think it's interesting. I guess maybe they felt because football was getting expanded scholarships, baseball obviously is changing fundamentally, that they had to do something for basketball as well. But this is one of those, it's fine. I don't know that it changes at all the day-to-day operations of how anybody's running their program.
Yeah. All right, T, we'll leave it there. We'll talk about the baseball stuff another time, but it is changing massively, that's for sure. Always appreciate your perspective. Thank you.
Yeah, clear a few days in June 2025. We'll get you on the podcast to discuss all the big moves in baseball. So okay. I appreciate you, Phil, man.
I'll be there. It's Aaron Torres. Check out his latest podcast. Download from Apple or anywhere else that you get your podcasts. Aaron joins us each Friday on Halftime. And also on Friday at Joe's Grilling Cantina, it is Fajita Friday. That means you get $1 off all and any fajitas all day long. You'll find Joe's Grilling Cantina at 3400 South 74th Street, right across from Harps. They feature not just the best Tex-Mex in town, the best service in town as well. Fajita Friday, charbroiled steak and chicken, tender, full of flavor, all the extras, and tomorrow's endless enchiladas featuring Joe's homemade enchilada sauce. That's Joe's Grilling Cantina, right across from Harps and Fort Smith. joesfortsmith.com to put in an order. We can also open up our hotline for you, calls and texts at 877-377-6963. Be right back after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and HitThatLine.com. Go to HitThatLine.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles. 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Did you sweethearts your feet reset in stone the stark belief sorted and sudden die too many years, but don't despair and stay will be there. Oh, if
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
So the Olympics are off to a rousing start, Matt. Quite honestly, I don't know what events are happening later today or tonight. I know that the opening ceremonies are tonight, and hopefully the Seine isn't full of crap, because that sounds like it would be pretty disgusting. But have you read about the spying situation with the Canada women's soccer team? That's right. It's a second Spygate, but I think it is going to cost the coach her job. Belichick, what year was Spygate? When did that? Was that 2008?
That was before Deflategate. Yeah, 2012-ish. It was around there, 2009 somewhere. But then what? 4 years later, you had Deflategate.
Yeah, he coached quite a few years afterwards. I do wonder whether or not Bev Priestman.
Somebody else took the fall though. Like it was.
Of course.
You know, it was the third string camera guy that it was like, yeah, he's the one making the decisions.
Well, I think the fall person may end up being the actual coach of the Canadian team, Bev Priestman. She had removed herself from their opening match against New Zealand when the first drone situation happened. And that was, I think, on Monday is when they were caught by French police, with a drone above, and they saw the things that were being videotaped there or recorded, because who uses videotape anymore? It now turns out that this was a practice. This was a standard practice of Canadian women's soccer for a long time. I mean, you're going back to the last Olympics. You're going back to CONCACAF competition. And what was the statement that Priestman had said originally when she had removed herself from their first match against New Zealand? It was something to the tune of, this does not represent what our culture is about, what our soccer team is. But it turns out it is. There were first-person reports, anonymous reports, I'll say that, but first-person reports of people who were hired for a job by Canadian women's soccer, and it turned out that one of those jobs was to illegally record opponents' practices. And those who did not agree to this duty were sent away and were let go from the job. It was part of the position. I'm sure it wasn't written into the job duties, but it was certainly explained to them as such. And this is evidence, Matt, of a structure of cheating, not just somebody like going off and doing it and saying, I'm just doing this because I want our team to win. It's a structure of cheating, which means it was all inside the culture of their program. Great way for the Olympics to get started, don't you think?
Other notable cheaters in the Olympics were Canada's own Ben Johnson and then John Candy in Cool Runnings, a Canadian that's been known to do that. Yeah, I don't know how you come back from that, Phil. You know, it's win at all cost. It's really a cutthroat business, and people kind of get, I don't know if you're the morality police or what, but there's got to be like a respect. There has to be some type of governing rules that you have to abide by, and it's not cool. I mean, I don't understand, and I guess the thing is too, there's no fear. It's like, well, if I go do this, what's going to happen if I get caught? Nothing. And so like Harbaugh, what did we talk about that whole time with Harbaugh when he was out Spygate, when they were doing their thing? We're like, well, what's going to happen? Oh, nothing. And so it's there has to be some type of rules and regulations and consequences for your action, all that stuff. But there's not. So I don't know if it'll ever stop.
You know, there's supposed to be an Untold the Untold series on Netflix. What did they do? I think they did they did a Johnny Manziel. They did Urban Meyer and a couple of others too. They're going to do a deal on Connor Stallions. I think he's agreed to be a part of this. So I think that talk about the fall guy, right? I mean, he was the fall guy.
He's getting a 6-figure payday to go do that. Like how? Yeah, talk about a fall guy.
Well, I think we're going to get the story from the horse's actual mouth in that case, whenever this Netflix series does come out. You know, and keep in mind, I'm here in a place that says that cheating is not allowed. I'm in the Baseball Hall of Fame, right? Cheating is not allowed to get into the Hall of Fame. It is actually used against you in many ways when it comes to whether or not you are elected to the Hall of Fame. And The steroid scandal is what that's all about. I mean, that's viewed as cheating, but it's a different kind of cheating than some of the cheating that like Gaylord Perry did, and he is right over here. Like, I don't mean the actual Gaylord Perry, but his plaque is probably what, 30 steps away from me in the hall right over here. That's a guy that if he wasn't cheating, he didn't get into the Hall of Fame. He was not going to make it into the Hall of Fame without the spitter, without the spitball. But so, I mean, it's just some cheating is okay. Some cheating is just sort of, well, we can't find any evidence that you're doing this. And then there's some that you look the other way for a while, like the steroid deal. That was looked the other way for a long time. Think of the 98 home run chase. Think of all of that. That was, people looked the other way while still bringing it up a little bit. And now, you actually have a drug testing, setup, structure to try to do away with that. But now you're talking about a whole other kind of cheating. I wonder about, this is why college football coaches are so paranoid. There's the paranoia of, where this injury occurred and how long this guy is going to be out. And now you're forced to give, I think you're going to be giving injury updates as the week goes along. That's for betting purposes. But what about the awkward sound of buzzing in the sky up above a football field when somebody's practicing? You got to be a little paranoid about that, while at the same time thinking, nobody would ever try to do that. Yes, they would. Absolutely, they would.
Who is the, I guess the best cheater is the one that's never gotten caught, but is Lance Armstrong the best cheater of our lifetime?
If you're just thinking like accomplisted?
Yeah,
how
like
many different Tour de France
is he the best cheater? Alex Rodriguez, Tom Brady. Would they be considered some of the best cheaters?
I guess so.
Here's
the thing. If you are Barry Bonds, let's just take Bonds for an example here, and you're not in the Hall of Fame. And the one reason you're not in the Hall of Fame is because of steroids. And there really wasn't evidence of him. I'm not like trying to defend him about this. I think he used things. But there are statements made by people that would be in the know. There's all sorts of innuendo tossed around with it. And if he is not in that Hall of Fame, then what else would you call him? Yeah, one of the greatest cheaters of all time.
Houston
Probably
Astros.
So.
Chicago Black Sox.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe a guy like Mike Scott. I don't know if that name rings a bell. Mike Scott was an ace right-hander for the Houston Astros in the 80s, who was just sort of a middling kind of a pitcher. He was just okay until he learned a split-fingered fastball where the bottom just dropped out of it. When it turned out, he probably was scuffing the baseball. He had ways to do it. Whitey Ford. Whitey Ford's in the Hall of Fame here. Nowadays it's crazy. We're watching the Yankees and the Rays on Monday at Yankee Stadium. My father's sitting next to me, and every time a ball hits the dirt, it's tossed, it's thrown away because they don't want any scuff marks on the ball. Pitcher wants a scuff mark on the ball, or should, because it's going to move.
I was
going to
say, John,
know what he's doing.
John Smoltz said he would get mad if the catcher would throw a ball out. Like if he got one back with a scuff on it, that's the one he wanted to throw. Yeah.
Right, but that's not cheating if you get a ball back with a scuff mark on it because the umpire didn't throw it out. But you might have the people remember the video of Joe Niekro, Phil Niekro's brother, who they were about. I forget the team that had asked to go investigate what he had, and it turned out as the umpires come towards him and he reaches into his back pocket and tried to throw his hands up like I don't have anything, and what comes out of his hand is an emery board, a nail filing board. He was using it on the baseball. Whitey Ford was known for having either a couple of things would happen here. Elston Howard was the Yankee catcher at the time, or Yogi Berra. They would grind the ball into a very certain spot on their catcher's gear in order to create a scuff. Either that, or Whitey Ford had a spot on his belt buckle where he could create a scuff. Is that cheating? I think it is. It's illegal to do something like that. They got away with it. These guys are in the Hall of Fame. The needles are one thing that I think get in the way for people. When it's a needle involved, when there's chemicals involved, when it feels like it's unnatural, that it didn't have much to do with your actual abilities, well, I think that's when it makes people feel a little bit weird. The needle is the thing. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. Ryan says that the Astros were the best of the cheaters. Well, they've got the world championship to prove it, I guess, and a system that Man, you have people that lost their careers, not the players, but some of the executives and front office people and coaches and managers in cases. 1 year's suspensions. That's right. Well, and they're probably the most famous recent one because all you got to do is bang a trash can and people know what you mean.
I got an idea. We'll get a drone and we'll fly it over the practice. And I bet no paranoid other coach that's out there. Do you hear the Jimmy Johnson story that when cameras would show up to practice, they would not do anything that was going to be in the game plan when cameras were there. And he got the drop on Buffalo when they were running that little draw play to Thurman Thomas. It was kind of like a delayed draw, and he was like, why are they doing that? He saw that on a news station when he was back in his hotel, and then they went in and made they ran that play like 7 times in the Super Bowl for like -4 yards. I mean, so it's is that considered cheating because he found it out that way?
Yeah, I think probably that's right. Well, here would be the thing. If you want to do the drone thing with me at some point, all right, we'll fly it over. The Fred W. Smith Football Center in the fields right there next to the stadium.
We'll go to Stillwater a day early.
Maybe we need to do something to help the football program.
Yeah, we'll
right?
go to Stillwater a day early and see what the Cowboys are doing. Gundy will let us. He'll be cool with it.
No wonder that security guard at Ole Miss a few years ago, and I was there for women's basketball. And I just took a walk on a morning over to the parking structure next to the football stadium, and there's their practice field, and they're running. I think they were running. They were practicing. They were practicing their run fits, and I did pull up my phone to take a photo, not to send to anybody. Brett Bielema was the head coach then, but somebody did see me with the camera up and screamed at me, and I thought they were going to come after me. So you know what happened? I spun on my heel and walked the other way. Didn't send that photo to anybody either.
And I said it was a delayed draw. It was like a little shovel pass, but it was a delay inside handoff, kind of little pass to Thurman Thomas. Yeah.
Hey, stay with us. We're back to wrap up hour number 1 of halftime after this quick break.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
This is halftime.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Warning, warning, attention all homeowners. Hi, this is Justin at West Termite Pest and Lawn. It's definitely bug season and we are priced to earn your business. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Call today for a free evaluation. 479-782-7291. West Termite Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind.
All services performed with children and pets in mind.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. JamMart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero JamMart locations. And stop by any of the 6 JamMart locations in the area. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The tide is high, but I'm gonna be your number one. I'm the kind of girl who ends up just like that. Oh no.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back on Halftime. Take a quick phone call here from Eduardo, who's dialed us up from somewhere in Clarksville as we wrap up hour number 1 of Halftime here. Eduardo, how are you today?
Man, I'm still pumped, still excited. I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
Dude, I'm really excited, too. I've had a great week. I'm fired up about the start of the football season. The closer we get to it, the better I think this team is going to be, and I'm sure that'll continue until the end of December.
Well, sir, you know, the season is every day getting a little closer. And as I said before, the last couple of weeks, tis the season. And I'm just blessed to be, you know, aboard the Hog Train almost a half a century. You know, and think about the games I attended and all the players I got to see play. Great players, no more than your co-host there. You know, Matt Jones, you know, what I talk about when I called in on the morning rush this morning, you know, Young MC wrote a song, Bust a Move. And, you know, when I went to see Matt play, you know, when he took up what I call the gallop, you know, and I'm hoping, you know, Taylon Green is going to bust a move out on that field this year, and I believe he is.
I love how you actually dropped that one in there, Eduardo. That works perfectly for a quarterback who can bust a move like that. Do you think he has jokes like Young MC had on that song as well? Don't just stand there, Fatso. Bust a move.
I know they take that NCAA real serious, and we play all 4 quarters around here.
Yeah, that's something that I think Armstrong and Green need to hash out here.
There's a good series going. Like, you have to ask them now what they probably both say. Well, you know, hashtag never lost, but it's wonder what the record is.
I would bet you think they're keeping score of games. You think they're doing an aggregate score potentially?
Absolutely.
Who knew Andrew Armstrong and Taylon Green were doing football European style on 25 EA College Sports? Hour number 2 right after this.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com.
Here we go, Arkansas. The current Lotto jackpot is over $2.5 million. Someone right here in Arkansas is going to win a life-changing jackpot. How do we know? Because Lotto is only played and won here at home. Feeling good about your chances? Try Lotto today for only $2 per play. Get your ticket at any Arkansas lottery retailer or on the Jackpocket app. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Partly sunny sky, a very slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm across the north, much better chance further south. High temperatures today will be in the low to mid 80s. Chance of scattered rain and thunderstorms tonight, and overnight low will drop down mid to upper 60s. And an occasional rain and thunder on Saturday are high into the low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 34 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com. We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback.
And vintage Matt Jones.
Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back as we get into hour number 2, 1 minute after 12 o'clock, halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson along with Matt Jones, Christian Johnston in our studios. Calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963. I am live at the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown and just steps away from the actual shrine. And I am trying to do my absolute best here because I got a request Matt, we do requests every once in a while here on the show. We've done some song requests. I think we've done guest requests. Photo requests are a different thing when it comes through our text line here. And I had an unnamed texter that sent a message out of the 479 that asked for a picture of the Dizzy Dean Hall of Fame plaque. Now, so earlier today, I took some photos of the Joe Torre plaque and the Whitey Herzog plaque and sent those to Chuck Barrett because I know he's brought those two guys up quite a bit. As we talked about Herzog after his death I think that was a month and a half ago, and I think he said Joe Torre was his favorite Cardinal during his playing days. So trying to keep people happy. I did, during that commercial break, go take a photo of the Dizzy Dean plaque. He was inducted in 1936. Of course, Dean was from Arkansas, and sent it over. And one of the cool things, and this is the same thing as what Bob Holt had told us yesterday, and I sent Bob a photo of this after the show was over yesterday, Matt. George Kell and Brooks Robinson, two Arkansas guys, great friends. They're right next to each other. Their plaques are next to each other in the shrine over here. So I sent Bob a photo of that. And Bill Dickey is just a couple of plaques away from where Dizzy Dean is located. So get a big kick out of all of that. And the connections to Arkansas and the connections to the Travelers. Of course, I worked for the Travs for 14 years. So I guess I can take some requests for photos of Hall of Fame plaques since I did one of them. 877-377-6963.
When the lights go out, Phil, I bet they have a pretty good baseball game. I bet they have a good little wiffle ball game or a home run derby.
Well, there's a field that's right over. It's connected to the museum.
Absolutely.
It's called Doubleday Field, and it's a real
They're like, can all you guys
size ballpark.
Can all you guys get out of here? We got a game to play, guys.
That's right. You turn the lights on, all right? We're going to get everybody out of the – man, you'd have some really great company outings just right next door. Just right next door. And they do play. Like, this is one of the cool things about, I think, being here in Cooperstown this time of the year. I mean, it's going to be cool at any point, but this time of the year, the amount of kids that are here because their youth baseball teams are playing tournaments around the area, whether in Cooperstown or Oneonta, which is 30 miles to the north or to the south, or Utica, which is to the north of Cooperstown, or any other surrounding villages or townships. The amount of youth baseball teams in this area, and if you're coming here to play baseball for a tournament, you're spending a lot of time at the museum too. You could probably hear the din of the crowd behind me. So, I mean, the last time I was here, I think, Matt, would have been December of 94, which would have been my last year in high school, and I came with my father. It wasn't like this. It wasn't like this at all. So this is really cool. I never got a chance to play baseball in this area. But if I was growing up now, I'd want to do exactly that, and I'd want to come over here. So it's just great to see all these families walking around the museum and spending time in Cooperstown together, and then going to play ball too.
What did Gabe get? Did he pick him out a jersey or a little baseball hat or a glove? What was his favorite?
Well, he's sitting right here next to me.
Yeah,
we might
Gabe,
as well
what was
ask
your-
him.
what was your
I Put
favorite?
a headset on him. What do you think? What's been your favorite thing here?
The museum.
The museum, yeah. Do you have now? You don't know about if you got a favorite player in the shrine over here, but what jersey do you have?
Derek Jeter.
That's right. Why did you pick Jeter? Why did you want that one?
I like him.
You like Jeter because we were just at Yankee Stadium, right?
Mhm.
That's right. Because we've had a great time, haven't we?
Yeah, we did.
It's been a heck of a lot of fun. You know, you're talking to like thousands of people on the radio right now. Does it make you nervous?
Yeah.
Me too, Gabe. Me too.
At age 12, it would have done the same thing to me, my man. It would have done the exact same thing to me. So, Woods wants a Stratomatic. Woods wants a Stratomatic board. Now, I don't know. He wants me to buy him a Stratomatic. He sent this on the text line, and he said he'll pay me back for the Strato. I may take him up on that. See, apparently I'm taking requests on photos of plaques, but now I might take requests of things to bring back from Cooperstown that I'm laying the money out for. Do I get any interest back, Woods? This is kind of like a loan.
Maybe that Cal Ripken's orange jersey that was up there, that looked pretty sharp right there. That looks. I know you were talking about the Griffey, which Griffey, no question about it. But Ripken, I mean, that's the Iron Man. He's a legend.
Well, and the first thing you should do when you come into the museum is to go into the theater, and there's an 18-minute video, which, I mean, if you're like me and you're kind of sentimental about baseball, you're going to need to have a pack of tissues with you. It opens up with Cal Ripken talking about Lou Gehrig and what it must have been like for him to speak in front of the thousands of people at Lou Gehrig Day, knowing that he couldn't play any longer, and he said he was the luckiest man on the face of the earth. If you can get through that moment, Ripken talking about Gehrig without a tear coming down, then I need some lessons on how to hold my emotions back from you.
There's when you have coworkers, co-teammates, and even people that you watch play, and you hear the other ones talk about them. That really is special when it comes from your peers. And so that Ripken grew up, and he was the Ripken boys, man, weren't they? They're a baseball family. Didn't his dad play? And he had some brothers play. Yeah,
his dad was his manager.
Yeah,
his dad was his manager for a few years. Yeah, and imagine what this would be like too, because Ripken Sr., that's Cal Ripken Sr., was the manager of the '88 Orioles, which had Billy at second base, Cal at shortstop. They were awful, and he was fired. I think, early in the season. It was either 88 or 89, one of those 2 years. He was fired in April with his two sons being the middle infielders of the team. But if you grow up in baseball, man, you better expect something like that can happen, right? Let's take a phone call from Charlie as we wrap up our first segment here at the 12 o'clock hour. Afternoon, Charlie. How you doing today?
What's up, Phil? So your son's on here. Gabe's on here?
Well, I turned his mic down, but he's listening. Yeah, he knows who you are.
Hey, buddy, what's up? Hey, Gabe, this is the Tuna Man. I just wanted to introduce myself.
Oh, my God.
Man, your dad is awesome, Gabe. And did you say your favorite player was Derek Jeter, Gabe?
He said he loved Jeter. He said he liked Jeter. He just kind of started learning about him a little bit. I don't know if he's got a favorite player in the game. Do you have a favorite player in the game today? Who do you think it is? He doesn't know who it is. Let's just say Aaron Judge. Right? We saw Judge hit on Monday for the Yankees, so that was really fun.
Well, there you go. Well, you just keep listening to your dad. You'll learn all about baseball. Is he excited about Arkansas football this year?
Of course he is.
Pumped up?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay.
See, the problem is that the one game Gabe came to last year was the Mississippi State game, 7-3.
Okay, that probably made him want to throw up.
11 o'clock kickoff. No, he didn't throw up. He fell asleep in the radio booth.
Well, that's a good. That was a good idea that day, Gabe. I would have done the same thing, buddy. But anyway, speaking of this college football thing, man, I tell you what, I've been there's a couple of coaches over there on PlayStation that I've been able to kick some butt, because they were coordinators in high school, and these are coaches that know what they're doing. And one of the things I'm using this game for is I play this game like if I were to actually coach. So, I'm trying to learn as much as possible, and so I've been spamming every RPO play you could think of. They all think it's cheating, but once I come down, roll down, Madden, play press coverage, I try to bomb them over the top. But I don't spam Arkansas or anything. We go with I beat somebody the other day. I had Central Michigan, and they had Georgia, so he took that L on the chin. Anyway, he wasn't very good, but. Yeah, man, I'm loving this game. It's awesome. And, if y'all ever get a chance to play it, I know C-Unit's on it. C-Unit, you're running the Dynasty, right? Are you a commish?
Yeah, in one league.
Okay. Good deal. I need to get it added up in there and play with y'all.
Yeah.
The amount of social media that I'm seeing just consuming this video game is impressive. Is there somebody, Christian? I know there is somebody that has taken Temple University to the championship. I think that's kind of created a little bit of an uproar.
But there's been some crazy teams people have picked.
If you get Temple, you got to call yourself the Goons, and you got to, you're the Temple Owls, and you're the Goon Squad, and it's a tribute, and you go rock. I love it.
No, you name yourself the Of Dooms, the Temple of Dooms.
There's another way if you wanted to, but mine's a tribute to the late great coach they had out there. What was it, Coach Chaney? What's his?
Jim Chaney. That's right. Yeah, he and Calipari had that rivalry that exploded. I think eventually they were very tight, and I think they respected themselves quite a lot. Thanks, Charlie. Isn't that interesting? Charlie introducing himself as the Tuna to my son. and then kind of doing a little interview with him. See, that's just exactly what Charlie wanted, is the ability to host his own little 2-minute segment there. It's what he's been building towards all these years, Matt. I'm pretty sure about it.
We'll spam that on the resume.
Well, maybe it'll be in the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast, and he can self-scout it. And don't forget Crabtree RV Center in Alma. When you're making big adventure plans for the family, looking for an RV to help you with those adventures, there is an RV on the lot at Crabtree that is perfect for your family. Just get over there, and they can they're perfect to consult with to figure it out. You can also go online to crabtreerv.com and get a look at their inventory there. You find Crabtree at the junction of I-40 and I-49 right beside the Cracker Barrel, helping families' dreams come true for over 70 years and 4 generations. Quick break, joined by Razorback outfielder Kendall Diggs in just a moment on Halftime.
This is Halftime.
It's like Clark Kent. This guy is dominant. This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air.
Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Whitfield, Joe DiMaggio, John McCarthy, Richard Nixon, Studebaker, Television, North Korea, South Korea, Marilyn Monroe.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Bill Elson and Matt Jones.
Headed right to our hotline. Looking forward to talking with Kendall Diggs, Arkansas outfielder, who will be entering his 4th year at the University of Arkansas. And, man, it has been a while since I've had a chance to talk with you, Kendall, and always love the chance to do it. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about y'all?
Doing very well, very well. I'm at the Baseball Hall of Fame, Kendall. This is, I mean, how couldn't I be great? Have you ever made it here before? You ever come?
Say one more time. It cut out a little bit.
I'm at the Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm in Cooperstown, New York.
Oh,
so
no kidding.
For a baseball guy, couldn't be any better.
Really. Yeah. I went there when I was younger, right around like 11 or 12 years old, I remember.
That's great. Were you here to play baseball? Because there's a lot of 12-year-olds to 14-year-olds that are here to play baseball right now.
Yes, exactly. There's at least like 2 huge tournaments that are they almost go on all summer that I know it just kind of keeps running week by week. So,
all right, I'll put you on the spot before we start talking about you and about Arkansas baseball. When you come here to visit, what's the first plaque that you're going to go take a look at? The first player you want to see?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Kansas City guy, so I thought maybe it might be George Brett, but I'm not sure how many Royals from like when you were growing up and rooting for him, are inside the hall.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking Royals. Yeah, let's go George Brett. I think George Brett's a great. So I've been I know his son actually coached me for a couple of years, so I've been to George Brett's house a couple of times. It was pretty cool when I was really young too. So.
Yeah, they've got a great display about him here. All right, so now let's get into you. I know you had the shoulder surgery. I think it was it last week? How you feeling, and what are you able to do right now?
Yeah. So last about a week ago, it was on the 17th was when the surgery when we did it. So they got in there. We knew it was torn as far as pulling the front, maybe a little bit in the back. So he was, they did I think it's called an endoscopic procedure. So, there's no incision or anything. Just a bunch of little sutures I got now on my shoulder. They went in there. Ended up being the complete tear dang near, if not all of it. But, so they put 7 anchors in there. Got out of it first, 2-3 days were pretty rough. I haven't felt the pain like that. I'll tell you that much. It was rough, but these past, it was crazy how fast, it kind of switched. And just kind of, I woke up, I think it was 4th day post-op, and I, got up, was moving around, it was a whole lot better. And now just day by day it's getting better, and I'm, moving around fine, getting through most of my daily stuff. Now it's more just kind of annoying than anything, having one arm to do everything. You don't realize how much you use both arms, both hands, that type of thing. But recovery's been going really good. As far as rehab goes right now, it's just a lot of at-home stuff. I'll take the brace off once a day and just do really, really simple stretches with my hands, wrists, that type of stuff, just kind of keep some mobility and range of motion there. But other than that, they don't want me moving a whole lot. So we hit that 3-week mark, and then we'll kind of get that PT rehab thing really, really going then. So
now I know we want to talk a little more about what moving forward, but have to do a little looking back. I can't imagine what it was like to play through the season, because I know the injury really occurred in March, and it must have just progressively gotten more painful as the season went along. I mean, how much pain were you in during the baseball season?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, as far as, the only people who really, really knew, I guess that was, or how kind of the pain I was feeling, it was really my parents. I mean, we just kind of talked about it. But for me, the whole situation was just, it was a little weird to me. I mean, I've never had an injury like this. Before this, as far as I never had surgery, never broken a bone. So I didn't really, I wasn't really familiar with any of it. So, like speaking of knee, made that first slide, the shoulder popped out. That never happened. Came back in clean. They didn't think there was any, tissue damage or anything like that. They're like, hey, you're going to be sore for 3-4 days. I mean, you clean pop out and in, it's just going to sore. So sore. And I was like, all right, good. That sounds good. Treated it, kept playing. And I think that next, so who do we have? Yeah, we had Mizzou. Felt fine. I felt, it wasn't bad. They gave me some good, ibuprofen or another NSAID, something like that, and I was okay. But anyway, we ended up going to Auburn the next week, and it started hurting that Thursday practice a little bit more, just kind of bothering me. And then it just kept going, series by series by series, and then that's the point where I think it's before that Texas Tech midweek. So after Alabama, we get off our flight, and I texted Corey, I think, for like a cortisone shot or something, telling him, I was trying to wait it out, let it heal, maybe, I don't know, but, it's creeped around to the back now. I've seen the front and the back, so I talked to them. We got a cortisone shot. That started, that did a really good job. I was amazed at how that works. I've never done something like that. So, I started finally, finding my swing again, finding my feel, and I was trusting my shoulder again a little bit, but it's really, it was tough. It really was for me. But then I popped it in Kentucky, and that kind of just restarted the whole entire process. So, I was in a spot with, I was talking to my parents. Even after the first time, I remember I was very adamant on, I'm playing. I'm okay. I knew I could play, especially when I was told by doctors, hey, you can't hurt yourself anymore. It's pain tolerance right now. So I was telling them, look, I'm good to play. I respect it if you don't want to play. But I think I think I can come in here and really help us still win games. Obviously, I'm not at my best, but it was definitely tough just as far as handling it, not only physically, but the mental toll it took. Just not really knowing that as messed up as it was, you start questioning a lot of other stuff about your swing maybe or timing, pitch selection, and it kind of just snowballs a little bit. So I think I can use last year to learning examples too. I'm still hopefully in the beginning, middle ages of my career, and hopefully I can keep playing and learn from that, and know how to deal with injury, failure, all that kind of stuff a little bit more. So,
I mean, it's already been a wild off season too. I mean, not just for you, but for the program overall. I mean, we had McIntyre on, Will McIntyre. I think that was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Announced he was coming back. You and Will are the kind of the old heads on the team, I guess would be the way to put it, just in terms of your veteran leadership and the amount of games you played for this program. And, you are also the only two players who have a link back to the last trip to the College World Series in 2022. So, I know that you probably would have wanted to start a professional career, but then, I mean, you're seeing college players choose to come back in some cases. You saw Ryan Prager, the ace for A&M. He's made the same choice. So, you want to come back, you want to win, and then start that pro career.
Exactly. That's the thing. I had lots and lots of conversations, during the draft week, all that kind of stuff, and that was my surgery week too. So, that was just a lot going on. But just talking with my family, talking with Arkansas, we were just very open on both ends. Just kept each other, kind of updated on what we were hearing, what we were thinking. And, at the end of the day, I was kind of sitting there. I was talking to my parents and told them, look, I mean, because, it's stressful. It's a stressful situation. I remember going through it in high school. The draft process is a stressful couple of days. But, just kind of take a step back and looking at it in really good perspective. I was like, I'm blessed. I'm either going to play professional baseball and fulfill my dreams, or I'm going to play for the best university in the country and still fulfill my dreams. You know what I mean? It went fine. So, the draft, it didn't necessarily, I guess, work out. We didn't get really anything that would have dragged me away from Arkansas. So for us, it was almost like a no-brainer. Talking with my guys in Fayetteville and talking to my parents, and just made a logical, quick decision, to come back. And I'm never gonna. It's gonna be a while, after Arkansas baseball, to be able to play for a true team like that, that's going out there every time, putting their body in the line to win a game, to win a national championship. Minor league ball's not like that. So I'm just pumped, get back and just, play for a ring, play for the guys around me, and in front of those fans too, man.
And there's a logjam at your position too. Not right field, but just outfielders overall, and just hitters overall. I think I counted it might have been 8 outfielders. That might have even been before your decision to come back. I know one of those guys, Carson Hansen, who'd committed from Milwaukee, flipped. I don't know if he was, he ends up going to Kentucky. It's just, you can only have 3 outfielders, right? It's just. Fall ball is going to be really interesting, and in my head, and I think a lot of people's minds, your name is penciled in there. There's a lot of other talented players that play that position that are coming into the program right now.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, yeah, that's like an awesome thing. I love seeing that. And I talked to Coach Thompson, Coach Van Horn, also too. That was a topic of conversation, and Coach T. This was before anything had really been finally decided. We were just it's kind of chat about back and forth, and that's one thing I really like about the staff there. We can both be very open, very honest with each other. And he's like, we signed a lot of outfielders. Like, we have to, it's not a thing like, well, we need to go get it all. You literally have to with the portal, with the draft, that type of thing. And it's never a good problem to have is having too much talent for not able for 9 players. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So it was really cool to see. I did see the kids flip to Kentucky. But I'm pumped, man, to get in there, meet all the new guys, get to see the younger guys come back after summer ball. It's going to be really good. I'm just really excited to get back.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to get back too, and to see the guys in fall ball and everything, and I'm really excited to see you healthy too, because I know you're, numbers don't necessarily tell you what you are as a ball player, because I think you tried to grind through a lot of stuff last year that if you're healthy, you're much more of what we saw as a sophomore than last year. I think that's safe to say.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really do. I don't want to meet people still, ask me today, or ask, hey, was that was really messing with you all year? Is that what's happening? I struggle saying yes for some reason. I don't want to blame it on that, but I'll tell it. It took a big toll on me, that type of deal. But it was definitely tough, man. But it's definitely a year. It wasn't even a question for me to stick it out tough there and put everything you have. That's just a culture we built, and that's just what I know. That's just what I've been instilled before I got to Arkansas, and then even more when I've been there. So. And then, you talk about fall. Unfortunately, I'm out for the fall, so that's never happened to me either. But I'm actually, really excited to, kind of take advantage of that and be able to sit back and watch baseball and learn. Because I realized that, and I sat double midweek against Tech, and you sit back and it kind of puts it in a different perspective, the whole game and everything like that. So, I'm kind of excited to sit back, watch scrimmages with the coaches, talk baseball, get smarter about that as well. So, there's different opportunities and, coming up in the future, but it's going to be good. I'm excited.
Kendall, we'll leave it there. Looking forward to seeing you when the chance arises. I appreciate you coming on, and really happy that the surgery was successful and feeling a lot better, and just looking forward to next season.
Awesome. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys soon.
Got it. It's Arkansas outfielder Kendall Diggs joining us here on Halftime. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on Halftime. Stay with us. Back right after this.
Oh, come on, guys. It's so simple. Maybe you need a refresher course. It's all ball bearings nowadays.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is halftime.
Hey folks, here at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway with Grant Neal. Grant, let's talk about pre-owned vehicles.
Well, we've worked hard at trying to source great pre-owned vehicles. It's been very hard. You know, the market's strong, but that helps people because we're giving the best value for trade-ins and the highest value for purchasing vehicles. But we work hard to make sure that we pick the right one. So every vehicle on the lot has been meticulously looked over, cared for, and inspected. So we really have the highest quality possible for all of our vehicles that we have in stock. We try to make sure we've got something for everybody. So if you're shopping for something, you know, certified pre-owned, lightly used, very low miles, we've got it. If you need something that's more of a budget-driven vehicle, we try to find vehicles that are high quality while still maintaining the price points at $10,000 and below, $15,000 and below. So really, we've got a vehicle for everybody here at Rhodes.
And financing's available.
Absolutely. So we work hard to make sure that we can get people approved and get them the best possible financing. A huge selection of banks. We really surprised a lot of people who walk in and say, well, I don't think I can get approved. Well, just give us a shot. We'll do what we can for you.
Come out today, Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, LOVVORN lumber.com.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday. Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
You have to learn to pace yourself. Dancer, you're just like everybody else. You've only had to run so far, so good. But you will come to a place where the only thing you feel are loaded guns in your face. And you'll have to deal with
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
It does seem maybe the pressure of fundraising and roster building is beginning to get to Mark Stoops. Matt Jones, the most successful head coach in Kentucky football history outside of Bear Bryant, was quoted speaking to On 3 earlier this week. Quote, "I feel very isolated, very alone. I'll be honest, I don't know how long I can take dealing with what I've dealt with. Myself, personally, I can only do so much. I've never felt this kind of stress and pressure." He is referring to raising money, NIL money, says that 3/4 of his time is spent going to get drinks with donors, meetings with donors, and trying to raise money. He goes along and says, "I have 100 free agents every 6 months. There's pressure of raising money to keep them and pay them what they deserve and to help them. I've done this for 2-3 years completely alone. I get no help, none." I have a tough time believing that he's not got anybody helping him with this. But it does sound like he's kind of at an end of his nerves for what, in his mind, doesn't have much to do with coaching a football team now.
There's 50 ways to leave your lover. Little Paul Simon for you right there. And it sounded like he had one foot out the door last year. He wanted to go. I mean, he was ready to go, and the board didn't let him. You know, he wants to go somewhere that's a little more bountiful because if you're a football coach, I guess you got to be a little bit of a politician, but that's not what you want to do. You know, you want to coach these kids. You don't want to be a politician the whole time. And A&M's a team that has the resources where you don't have to do that as much. But Kentucky, you got to try to go get every dollar you can get.
Reminds me a little bit. We were watching Shark Tank yesterday, and people have fabulous ideas of what they think is something lacking in the market of whatever. And so they come up with an idea that they think is going to work and going to make millions of dollars, because why wouldn't people buy this? And then they go into the Sharks and they're showing all sorts of reasons why their idea may be good, but it doesn't quite fit. And they never thought about the fundraising aspect of it. Football coaches don't start their careers. I think it's understood, you got to go talk with boosters. You got to give a speech every once in a while. But I would think maybe one of the reasons that Stoops was interested in going to A&M, I'm sure an added amount of salary might have been part of it too, but it feels to me like A&M's got their NIL dollars in a certain order, where in his mind, if he's doing this all by himself, I mean that's not coach speak. That's somebody that's saying that there isn't a single person in my athletic department right now that is helping me with 3/4 of what my job is, which is not coaching, it's fundraising. And that's almost a shot towards his boss, Mitch Barnhart. Be like, well, do you want me to coach here or not? Sounds like he didn't feel like coaching much longer. And then everything changes next year too, of course.
He won't be there much longer, huh? Maybe he's been there a little bit too long. But I just think it's tough as a coach when it's not like they called you and just wanted to gauge your interest. The interest was there. He was leaving his team. He was gonna go. I think that's when that's like they went too far. It's hard to come back from that.
Hard to come back maybe in Kentucky's fans' eyes too.
Right. If you don't want to be here, we don't want you here, so to speak. And then it's like, well, we'll keep you because the other team didn't want you.
Well, let's see how many days. It's 34 days away from kickoff of Arkansas football.
The best two-sport athlete ever. Is he in Canton? Is there a Bo Jackson anything there?
Yeah, he's not enshrined in the Hall of Fame, but I saw it today. There was a little kiosk or a thing that showed some of the great two-sport athletes in baseball history.
Bo Jackson has to be up there.
They had the Bo Jackson Raiders jersey up there for
number
everybody
34.
to see. Yeah. Absolutely. Bo Jackson right there, and I was looking for Brian Jordan. They didn't have it only said some of them, not all of them, some of them. Yeah, Jim Thorpe and a few others that I either not heard of or didn't know that they played other sports. But yeah, Jackson's in there, not enshrined, but he is. This he didn't earn his way into the shrine.
Either Hall of Fame. Yeah.
but he earned his way into the history of the sport.
Absolutely.
By some of the plays that he made. I mean, who can forget Bo Jackson literally running up the outfield fence at Kauffman Stadium and looking like he was defying gravity, like he was Superman. And
the home run in the
and
All-Star
everything.
game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point of, they're telling you the story. But 34 is also, let me go down my uniform numbers here on the roster. 34 is Jabray Shaw, and I think it's the number of Braylon Russell. Got to check out and see where Russell is here, because I flip to my position groups before I do anything else on these on this roster, as they can filter through. No, Braylon Russell is not that number. What number is Russell? He's number 0. One of the biggest offensive players, guy that's going to touch the ball, is number 0, 253. Nico DeVilliers is also 253. Russell's going to be a guy that he's going to get the ball around the goal line, short yardage situations, catch out of the backfield. He's part of that big running back depth that I think is going to pay some very big dividends. And I know Clay and a couple of the others that saw scrimmages keep saying there is depth at linebacker that we are not quite that we don't quite understand, because we haven't been watching. We didn't get a chance to watch spring ball, and I don't know if the spring game necessarily tells you all that much. Brad Spence going to be one of the starters expected at linebacker. Speed and some size at 6'2", 238. Sorey, the kid from Georgia, for me, seems like he's got to be the best linebacker of the group. Just couldn't necessarily break through the depth chart at Georgia there was a red shirt year, but then 2 years after that. And I wonder where some of the other depth necessarily is coming from at that position. You're looking at potentially a Carson Dean, redshirt freshman out of Frisco, Alex Sanford out of Oxford, Mississippi, Stephen Dix, who transferred in from Marshall. This is an older guy, 6'1", 234, fifth-year senior transferring up. So how many linebackers do you feel you need, Matt, to actually have depth? I mean, you're talking about a depth chart that goes down to first and second team, but you got to guys have after that too.
Well, and it is position specific, Phil. You have a middle linebacker. You'll have some outside linebackers. You'll have a weak side linebacker. So you kind of have, they're not all built the same. They all have different strengths and different weaknesses and abilities to cover the field and do certain things. But yeah, they're all linebackers. But you need two mics. You got to have one mic. No question about it. But you got to have a weak side linebacker as well. You got to work group good as a group.
That is the position, and again, it's like I say, it's a concern. If it's more of a matter, and I think Clay's right about this. It's just we haven't seen them enough to have a sense. I've seen enough of the guys that are up front on the line of scrimmage defensively to think that I think there is some depth on the defensive line. I've seen the same thing out of the secondary. It's just I haven't had my eyes on the linebackers enough to have a sense. But hopefully you'll have a sense 3 weeks into the season.
And usually you have one set of linebackers. You might have another guy that'll come in a little bit, but they're not like your defensive linemen where they're going to rotate a lot. Usually your core group of linebackers, those are your guys you remember it took a lot to get Bumper out of there. Bumper was on one hip for a while, but he's such a tremendous linebacker that it was hard to get him out. And then once Chris Paul got in there, you're like, oh, okay, dude can do it. But it takes a while to kind of get in there. So, you're
right, though. Grant Morgan played with one arm for part of a year.
Right. I would say 4. And usually the head, once you're in the starting linebacker room, it's hard to lose your spot.
877-377-6963. If you got any thoughts on our the linebacker group at the University of Arkansas. I've also sent a few more requested photos from the Hall of Fame to see any of the your favorite players that are in there. I can only get a couple of them during the commercial break, but I've sent like 4 or 5 photos. Dizzy Dean, Ozzie Smith, Mickey Mantle, and I sent Bill Dickey as well. So you can text that, 877-377-6963, and I'll try to hook you up. And I think I've agreed to buy a board game well, not the board game, the board game, the real thing, Stratomatic in the store, and get that to Woods whenever the next time that I'm in Northwest Arkansas, because Woods made a request and he's got a good reason to do it, and he's going to pay me back as long as I do accept his money, which his money is good here on Halftime too. Your money's also really good at CartPath Social when you're looking for a great time with all of your friends. CartPath Social is Northwest Arkansas's #1 destination for indoor golf. Find them on 122 Grant Place in Lowell, 479-619-9750 if you want to book a bay for your friends and for you. That can get up to 6 golfers inside the bay, $50 per hour. That's for up to 6 people. The bay rental cost covers all those folks, and you have to bring your own beer. They do have basic snacks and beverages available for sale. You can bring in food to eat as well, but it is a BYOB facility, so you can bring in beer or seltzers. They do have monthly memberships available. Get half off your golf, 15% off clothing, VIP events, and no golf attire is required either. Again, that's CartPath Social in Lowell, 479-619-9750. Back to wrap up hour number 2 right after this.
This is Halftime.
The Summer Smash Sales Event. Harry Robinson, Salisal Ford. Come take a test drive. You get to smash one of these cars with a bat, and you get big savings right now. Let's talk about brand new Fords, Troy. You've got incredible pricing plus big rebates from the factory up to $6,000.
Yes, definitely. And, a lot of our competition is advertising invoice pricing, which, it's illegal in the state of Oklahoma. But I'm not going to do that. What I will tell you is our prices are going to be even lower. And, hey, here's the good news. You get our Harry Robinson price, and then you get up to your $6,000 in rebates on your new Ford.
Plus, you always give more for your trade. So here at Harry Robinson, the deal gets even sweeter.
Yes, it definitely does. More for your trade, best prices. And, hey, just go for a test drive. Grab this baseball bat and just start swinging on one of these cars.
It's the Summer Smash Event. Smashing prices, smashing the competition. Harry Robinson, Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Why do
people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Let's make some music, let's some money. She's so terrible, nothing is stop. You've been
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Wrapping up hour number 2 here on Halftime with just a reminder about our football trip of a lifetime preliminaries. Seaburger was at the Hardee's location yesterday in Salisaw. We've got some are they qualifying rounds or preliminary rounds? I guess it's either one of them.
Qualifier, but I guess that's the same thing.
6 and 1/2 dozen the other, but
It's
I want to
pool
use
play.
there you go. That's right. This is pool play, pool eating. I never liked eating in a pool. You know, it's just not very comfortable.
Only if it's a Baby Ruth.
Ugh, now you got me thinking other things. Next Tuesday and Thursday are our next pool play qualifying rounds. You got to bring your own Baby Ruth inside. We'll be at the Phoenix Avenue location on Tuesday, the Rogers Avenue location Thursday, both in Fort Smith. Eat your Hardee's burger in 150 seconds or less, and you are reserved for a seat in the finals, which is August 24th. That's the football trip of a lifetime. Eagles, Cowboys, AT&T Stadium, November the 10th. And we've had a few qualifying rounds already. Just a few more left. Again, Tuesday and Thursday next week. Tuesday, 1820 Phoenix Avenue location, Hardee's. Thursday, 2720 Rogers Avenue location. It's brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. What else do you do this weekend, though, C-Movie? I heard you assigned yourself a movie, which students are only allowed to assign themselves things during the off season, during the summer.
Class.
That's right. What did you assign yourself?
What was it, Matt? The beach.
Oh, you want to go to the? We were
That's
talking.
not what I heard yesterday.
We were talking Thelma and Louise.
Thelma and Louise. Yes, I forgot about that. I do want to see that. So
I'd say Thelma and Louise are considerably different than the beach.
But we can do the beach next week because that should be on the list.
Yeah, let's do them both.
Thelma and Louise, they go through the state of Arkansas. I went and saw Twisters, and so we were bringing it up, and I saw Thelma and Louise, and but yeah, Christian would Michael Madsen, Harvey Keitel, Shooter McGavin, Gina Davis, Susan Sarandon. I mean, come on now? It's
Isn't Shooter McGavin's real name Christopher McDonald? Is that what his name is?
Yeah, but so
McDonald?
when he's doing his bit, I think Harvey Keitel's character, he's busting out laughing because he's like, "This is you can't be acting like this. This is not." He's like, he's acting like he's like, "What? And you're just like, "That's a real act." And Harvey's almost like really laughing, like, "Oh, they're gonna put this on the film. This is what we're going with."
I thought of McGavin the other day, or McDonald, because he's got a cameo in the new Beverly Hills Cop in Axel F, where he's not. You don't know if he's Shooter McGavin, but he's playing golf, and he goes at Axel F like he's Shooter. So he must have been Shooter McGavin.
Smokes cigarettes and dislikes dogs.
You eat I can't say that here. You eat Baby Ruth for breakfast? I guess that might work. 877-377-6963 as we get into the third hour on a Friday. And that means all the serious stuff is off for the rest of the show. It's the golden hour of halftime, so stay with us.
Up to $12,000 off during the Summer Smash event. Harry Robinson, Sallisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Sallisaw. The best selection of the summer, the best deals of the summer, now through Monday.
Yes, Tommy, I'm so excited. Summer Smash sales event. This is going to be the biggest sales event that we've ever had. If you're in the market for a vehicle, it doesn't matter. New, used, car, truck, van, SUV. Come down here and see us during this event because we are not going to miss your business. We've got pre-owned inventory up to $12,000 off. We've got new inventory up to $10,000 off. Special APRs as low as 0% financing, and we've got the test drive. Go on a test drive. That's all you have to do, and you get this baseball bat, and you get to go to town and start swinging on one of these cars.
How many swings I get?
You get as many as you want, Tommy.
It's the Summer Smash event. Savings up to $12,000. Harry Robinson, Sallisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Sallisaw. Online at harryrobinson.com.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Partly sunny sky, a very slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm across the north, much better chance further south. High temperatures today will be in the low to mid 80s. Chance of scattered rain and thunderstorms tonight, and overnight low will drop down mid to upper 60s. And an occasional rain and thunder on Saturday are high into the low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 34 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field out.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back in hour number 3, halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson here, live at the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Matt Jones and Christian Johnson holding down our ESPN Arkansas studios. Got another 60 minutes with you. And one of the ironies of this show today, Matt, is that the next segment will have Neil Atkinson for his weekly segment from Bet Saracen. Going to be doing a gambling segment at the National Baseball Hall of Fame, which does make my skin crawl a tiny little bit because that's the thing that's keeping Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson out of the hall. It is the number one, most reviled thing I think that you can do as a ball player or as a manager. But then again, I mean, we're also in a world where there's a sports book at the home ballpark of the Reds, for crying out loud, and ESPN is doing consistent odds changing of who's going to win the game as they do a telecast. So maybe I shouldn't let my skin crawl too much about it. Just feels a little bit weird talking about that topic inside this building. That's
well, a lot of great baseball achievements have happened on July 26. July 26, 1957, Mickey Mantle hits his 200th home run. But in July 26, 1970, Cincinnati's Reds' Johnny Bench hits 3 consecutive home runs off Philadelphia Phillies' Steve Carlton. How cool.
Wow.
That's pretty cool right there.
I think I saw something about that in the hall yesterday, to hit 3 home runs off a Hall of Famer and to be a Hall of Famer yourself.
It happened today. It happened July 26, 1970.
Well, you know what happened yesterday, Matt? I guess this won't happen while we come back from our trip. You remember, so like a week ago, doing the show this hour, literally it was a week ago in the 1 o'clock hour.
You had to get tickets, right? Yeah.
That was when the whole CrowdStrike IT meltdown happened. It was a week ago. And right about now is when I found that our Delta flight was canceled. We were flying out of Little Rock, and Delta is affected by this outage more than any other airline. So during the last hour of last week's show, I'm searching for flights. Delta wasn't going to be able to get us out until Sunday night. And I don't even think they eventually got people out Sunday in Little Rock. And I found flights on Southwest. And I think I might have purchased them about at the bottom of the hour. I think while I was saying something to you, I think I actually hit the button live on the air. And we got where we wanted to go. You know, part of the issue, though, Matt, was that we flew. If I bought that ticket like at 1:30 in the afternoon, takeoff of the flight was 3:55. So most people had already checked in by then. And I, unfortunately, on Southwest, Gabe and I ended up with the dreaded C tickets. Yeah. Well, guess what? There ain't going to be any more C tickets sometime soon. Yesterday, Southwest Airlines, by the way, we did sit next to each other. It's just I'm so nice. I gave my son the aisle seat instead of the middle seat. And it was me that had the crick in the neck for the next couple of days because I have to fall asleep on a plane. Yesterday, Southwest announced they're doing away with that policy. They are doing away with I used to call it the Southwest rat race. They developed a little bit more order to it over the last few years instead of people literally sitting there at the gate on the floor with their legs crossed in order to reserve the first few steps on. Now things are different, but it's going to be even more different, and I guess Southwest is going to be like every other airline. Some people are up in arms about it. But the airline said, their own research said 80% of their own customers said that's a drawback from Southwest. Now, I do think that the airline's client base has grown and changed in the last 20 years. They're at many more airports than they were before that point. And so the clientele has changed too. And you know, one thing I always liked about the Southwest Airlines system, Matt, is you didn't feel like you were in a tiered society like you do, you know, with many of the other airlines. You don't just have first class now you got business class. And then you also pay for the extra leg room in the exit aisle, you know, or other spots where you get another 2 inches compared to anybody else. And it's a tiered society. That's one of the reasons I don't think I'd be interested in going on a large cruise ship, because that's a tiered society. and it's tiered in an economic way. You never had to deal with that with Southwest. Everybody was pretty much the same until they said, the first 15. You could buy your way up to the first 15, but the seats were all the same essentially, except for the exit row and the first row. Everybody had the same amount of leg room, and now it's going to change. And I think that's one thing that might be bothering some people, is it feels like an airline which, is kind of like for an every person is probably going to have a little bit more of a tiered structure, in which you'll know the people that have all the money on the airplane just by walking in, because they'll already be sitting down and they'll have more leg room and they'll have a nice drink. Did it ever matter to you? You ever fly Southwest?
First flight I ever went on was out of Little Rock, same airport you flew out of, and I flew to St. Louis. Flew Southwest, got to go up and meet the pilot because I was about 7 years old. My parents took me to the airport, and that's when they could walk you almost up to the plane, and they gave me my wings. Got to go up there and do that, and first flight, got to fly Shamu when I was AAU basketball, the one that has the. They probably have more than one, but we thought it was just one that looks like Shamu. Did you see this Guinness train in Dublin that looks like a Guinness can, and it's back to back to back, and it's the coolest thing. You'll have to Google it. But I gotta go to Ireland now just to ride the Guinness train.
Man, I mean, they ought to put that on. They ought to put that next to
it's super cool. You got to check it out.
The Ostermeyer Wienermobile on a track too. Those two things that can go together.
I don't want
hot dog and a Guinness. Is that okay?
Yeah, hot dogs not really, but your boy might be chasing after you. Johnny Chestnut. So be careful driving around in a hot dog.
Nah, Joey Chestnut is promoting the vegan hot dogs now. I don't know if
so it'd be like an
electric.
It'd be an electric car. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you still have it.
I did have a couple of other requests come in for photos of plaques in the Hall of Fame, and I'm like 30 steps away from the shrine. This is fun. It really is, because usually during a commercial break, I just sit here and look at my phone. Might use the restroom if you have to, or, get a couple of sips of water. But during some of these commercial breaks, I've got this nice little circuit planned out. It takes me 45 seconds to get from where I'm set up to get inside the shrine, and then another 45 seconds to go find where the plaque is located that somebody's requested, and then to come back over here. And the next thing you know, you got another 2 minutes, and you can send it out. I got requests for Bill Mazeroski from Jason in Frankfurt, and from Ryan Sandberg. I know you like to bring up Rhino. Ryan Sandberg, that was a request from another one of the listeners. I think that was Brandon in Paris that asked for Ryan Sandberg. So for some reason in the 1 o'clock hour, we've got people that have second baseman on the top of their mind here. And as far as second basemen are concerned, I don't know if you can find anyone better than Ryan Sandberg. When it came to the glove work, Bill Mazeroski was top of the list too. Though he's a little more of can I say controversial? Not controversial. He just wasn't a great hitter. Maz hit one of the greatest homers in the history of the game, Matt. 1960 World Series Game 7 walk-off home run against the Yankees. Joe Carter is the only other batter to hit a home run to win a World Series in walk-off style. But Maz was known as a great second baseman, just not a great hitter. But he was known as, I think Pete Rose described sliding into Mazeroski on a double play as if it was sliding into two tree stumps, which you just weren't going to move him out of the way. It was pretty much impossible. So I am taking some of those requests on our hotline, 877-377-6963. What Hall of Famer do you want to see the plaque? And, yeah, look at it. That's a train car? This is a Guinness draft. This looks like a giant can of Guinness.
Right, absolutely. So number 17, Mark Grace, is he in Canton? Was he what?
Grace is not in.
What about Sean Dunston in that infield?
Dunston's not in
yeah,
either. None
okay.
of those. I don't think
Sandberg's the only one that made it
outside of Sandberg and Andre Dawson.
Dawson, that's who Andre Dawson, that's the Hawk.
Yeah, they've got Dawson in. I think he's in as an expo.
As an expo, yep.
Right, and there's some of the players. It's funny to look at this and you wonder, well, why do they have like Pedro Martinez is wearing a Red Sox logo on his hat.
We won a championship with him.
They only played like 5 years with them, and then had great seasons with the Mets. He came up with the Dodgers. He was part of that great Expos team in '94. But yeah, he did win a World Series with them, so that's got to be the reason why. Greg Maddux does not have a logo on his hat, and I wonder why. I mean, he pitched with the Dodgers near the end of his career. He pitched with the Padres, came up with the Cubs, won a Cy Young with the Cubs, but he won his World Series with the Braves. He won, I think it was 3, if not 4, Cy Young awards with the Braves, but he doesn't have any logo on his hat. And it's just interesting to see, why. Here's one of the fun things I'll be able to do later today. We had Josh Rawitch, who's my good friend and president of the National Baseball Hall of Fame. He came on for a segment yesterday. In about 50 minutes, once I get all this stuff packed up and moved out of the way, we're going to get a back, kind of like a backroom look at some of the stuff that he referred to as underneath our feet in the archives here at the Hall of Fame. So I almost feel like I'm going behind the scenes of The Wizard of Oz to see who's behind the monster in the back, and I can't wait to do it. And all of a sudden, I'm thirsty for a Guinness too, Matt, and I can't quite figure out why.
Get you a hot dog as well. I bet they got a street corner hot dog vending machine out there.
There are definitely some dogs over this way. Hot ones, too. Stay with us. We'll be talking with Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen in just a moment on Halftime.
Connor, all I'll say is truck, yeah.
I tell you what, I know this. Got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman. You better put him up there. I'm tired of him being number 4.
We got that wood right here, baby.
Somebody better look at this guy, the best football player in the country, and his name's not being mentioned. Lou Holtz, Mark May, number 5. You better look at him a little closer. He's a football player.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
This is Chuck Fawcett with Chuck Fawcett Realty. When I have a HVAC problem or a plumbing problem, I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940. Blaylock Heating and Air.
So to have a red truck rolling your way today, give us a call. That's Blaylock Heating and Air Conditioning for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and drain cleaning needs and great York Home products. It's just one number you need to know. That's 782-8940.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
It's the Segway Full Send Summer Savings Event going on now at Adventure, Oklahoma at Auto Finders, Highway 64 in Roland. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $3,500 off select UTV models in stock. Fear no plates with high-tech power sports from Segway. Adventure, Oklahoma at Auto Finders. Financing available with approved credit. It's the Full Send Summer Savings Event with Segway.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
Right to the hotline, and Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen joining us. It is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Putting a little money on what's going on in sports today. Well, you're looking ahead of the NFL season. You're looking ahead of the college football season. You're right in the middle of the baseball season, and the Olympics are kicking up as well. Neil, how are you today?
I am doing fantastic. Happy to be here on Friday during the golden hour, but I don't think I'm as good as you. You are in a special spot right now, and I'm jealous of where you're at, and I'm hoping you and your son and everybody are having a fantastic time up there, because that's a special place.
We're having a great time here. I've been taking requests from listeners, photos of their favorite player that's enshrined in the Hall of Fame, of that person's plaque. Who do I need to send you later today, Neil?
You know, I'm trying to think. I mean, you know, I always liked Babe Ruth. I mean, he's the Babe. So I know I got to have that request. But one is probably a little off topic. Is it true that Barry Bonds' home run ball has an asterisk on it and is on display with that asterisk on it?
I didn't see that. I don't know.
Yeah, if you see that Barry Bonds ball with the asterisk on it, I'd like a picture of that.
I will do that. I will do that. What if I find a betting slip of Pete Rose? You want a photo of that too?
I think that was in the days when they called them in versus the betting slip. So I don't think you'll find that one there. Maybe you'll find the logbook of the bookie. But anyway, you know, talking about Pete Rose, I know, and I'm in the gambling business and all of that. Yeah, I don't know if they can ever revisit that or not. I know there's strong opinions both sides of it, but you know, it's just hard not seeing him in there of what he accomplished on the field. But then again, we all have rules that we have to follow, and there's consequences to not following them.
Yeah, that's right, and that's the same as with legal gambling as well. I mean, we're seeing this up front with athletes these days, college athletes, professional athletes. It's part of the time-honored tradition of you can't do that, and it goes on. They do have the story of the Black Sox here in the Hall of Fame too. So it all just kind of reaches down the lines of this story for over 100 years. But let's talk about the legal stuff. And right now, the Olympics have to be on the front of people's minds. And I saw where there are, I think, 26 athletes that either are current Razorback athletes or were at Arkansas before they turned pro that are in the Olympics representing their native country. And, you know, one of the great things about Bet Saracen, because it's an app that's for Arkansans inside the state borders, is that you always are able to focus on Arkansas specials, whether it's NBA players or major league players or in college baseball or college sports. You can do the same for the Olympics too.
Yes, and we've got a few specials on the front screen, but and basically it's over and unders on how many medals are won by Arkansans, and those are individual events. We had to exclude the team events, so we could, have the right benchmark. But yeah, we've got a couple of lines up there, and the tricky part with there is so much in the Olympics of organizing our pages where people can find these bets. And most of the Olympians from Arkansas, because of Arkansas's, basically legacy in track and field, I think there's 20 athletes of the 26 are track and field related. And you have to go under Olympics athletics. For some reason, for translation, so all the odds and the settling would come, we had to use the international term for track and field of athletics. But that's where you'll find all the track and field, and that's where you'll find most of the Arkansas athletes that are on the list there. And most of it is who's going to win the medals and things of that nature. But yeah, it's a lot of fun doing that. Now we're not going to make a lot of money off of that in the Olympics, but what we try to do is put the content up there that people are interested in, and people just in the state are very, very interested in the success of people that have affiliations with the state and especially with the University of Arkansas.
Is it the same as any other sort of sports gambling where, I know that parlays are just such an important piece and very popular way for sports bettors to get involved. Can you also do parlays on the Olympics?
Yeah. On some of the markets. If it's a market, a similar market to which you can parlay on the rest of the site, yes, you can parlay those. Now, the the bet slip will let you know what you can and cannot parlay. There is not as much correlation, so you can do more same game parlays, especially on the team sports like basketball and the golf and soccer, of course. But yeah, you'll have your full parlays, and we write so many parlays on Bet Saracen, people just love them, and we're trying to get to the point at some time by this time next year, if not sooner, where you can almost parlay anything on the site, and that's one of the biggest models that we've been working on, and I've been teased that I may have it by January of next year, but I'm hopeful for that we get that, but we've got some fun other changes coming up with parlays for football, also too. Just teasing a little bit of that.
Is that anything you can give us a look into, or do we need to wait until it's released?
Well, I'm going to thread the needle. It may be ready for the first football game. Of course, it's almost ready, but we have to go through robust and regression testing to make sure everything's exact. But what we are going to accomplish, and hopefully before football season or shortly thereafter, is that if you have a same game parlay right now, if for some reason one of the legs is canceled or is a push, the whole same game parlay is pushed, and we just refund the money. We are now going to have a way, just like a traditional parlay, where if a game's a push or a game's canceled, like for weather event or whatnot, we will be able to recalculate and keep your same game parlay odds and pay you out at the reduced odds for one less leg in there, depending on what the correlation is. So that's one of the biggest features that we've been asked for. We're working really, really hard on it, and it's going to be available for football, hopefully right before the 29th or 24th, but it may be the second week, just looking at the development track line.
What do you think is going to be the most popular event that people put money on Bet Saracen on the Olympics? My guess is it would be basketball, just because it's something that people can connect to immediately, especially with the athletes that are competing. But I also wonder if people, if I was to do it, I would probably go on cycling. I've always enjoyed watching cycling. So maybe that would enhance my enjoyment of it. I know some people love any sort of track event, 100 meters, and maybe that's where they would go. But my guess would be basketball. What do you think will be the most popular event on Bet Saracen?
Olympic basketball, men's and women, that would probably be 1 and 2. And then after that, it will probably be Olympic tennis after that, because there's so many more matches. But now I'm going to put a caveat on Olympic basketball men. This is probably the most competitive basketball Olympics since professional athletes came into it. And, I mean, Germany is a close number 2, and you see that. So as long as Team USA makes it to the medal round, it will absolutely be the most bet event in all of the Olympics. If they don't make it if something weird happens and they don't make it to the medal round or to the bronze round, I'm thinking that women's basketball has a real good chance of getting there too, of course. It just depends if they make it to the medal round. It's all about that. But I have pretty good confidence in both of those teams making it to the medal rounds. But anything can happen, and the level of competition with basketball internationally is growing. Wasn't the first 4 of the NBA draft from France? If I'm not mistaken.
I think it was the first 2. There was 4 in the top 10, if I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, wasn't even an American high school. A schooler like you would think, or a JUCO. I mean, it's international now, and you look at the makeup of some of the teams, and it's nice to see.
I know, and this is about something completely different. It's more about the industry overall and what's going on in Oklahoma right now with the debate over mobile sports betting, which is exactly what BetSaracen is, and it goes along with the sports book inside the casino. But I imagine it's a little bit different in Oklahoma with the native tribes who also own most of the casinos, if not all of them there. It's got to be a little bit different than in Tennessee or maybe even in Mississippi. It's just it's something that I followed a little bit. I'm sure that BetSaracen is following that as well.
Oh, absolutely. Because the Quapaw Nation in Oklahoma owns Saracen Casino. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not a tribal casino like those in Oklahoma. It is a business ownership of them. And, part of the reason why we were able to get BetSaracen up and do what we didn't have to deal with the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act or do a compact with the governor of the state. And Oklahoma is extremely, extremely complicated because, you have so many tribes there, and each one of them have their own designated area and their designated land and trust. And there's been some Supreme Court decisions involving Oklahoma trust land, depending on previous treaties. And what the state is going to have to do, and the Indian gaming partners are going to have to do, is decide: are they going to open it up commercially for anybody, or they're going to keep it for the tribes? And boy, how it's going to turn out is way above my pay grade. I do know the current governor has not been very friendly to that process currently, and there has been some legislative attempts to try to get it to the forefront. But we'll just have to see if the stars align, because with the success that we've had here in BetSaracen here in Arkansas, we sure would love to replicate that success in Oklahoma under our downstream casino brand that owns that owns the Saracen Resort here in Arkansas. And we would love to be able to have the opportunity to do that in Oklahoma. A little bit bigger population, and it would expand our horizons and allow us to do more with the site overall.
Neil, we'll leave it there. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go get a couple of photos of Hall of Famers. One of them will be Babe Ruth. It's going to show up on your phone pretty soon. Appreciate you, man.
Excellent. Everybody, bet with your head and not over it, and good luck on all your parlays this weekend.
Neil Atkinson from BetSaracen joins us each Friday on Halftime. Calls and texts 877-377-6963. Going to go get shots of Stan Musial, Johnny Bench, and Babe Ruth, and we'll be back right after this break.
They were so convincing in their argument. They swung me.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Cool down with hot deals at the Burton Pools and Spas Summer Clearance. Get a high-quality above-ground pool installed for just $57 a month. Enjoy up to $1,000 off in stock Doughboy above-ground pools. Considering an in-ground pool? Our stunning fiberglass pool started under $48,000. And don't miss our biggest discount of the year on hot tubs, where you can save up to $7,300. These offers won't last long, so visit Burton Pools and Spas today. At Burton, we do more than build pools. We build long-term relationships.
It's Wrangler season out there. T-shirt days, denim jacket nights. A pair of broken-in jeans you could live in. Open roads, endless horizons, no destinations. This is when adventure starts calling. And you need to be ready in jeans that are made for the unpredictable journey that we call life. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Road Chevrolet with Grant Neal. Grant, let's talk service.
Well, service is really our number one thing. Obviously, we're a car dealer. We sell cars, but service is where we see our customers the most. So right now, the service department's running a $49.95 AC diagnostic special right now. So if your air conditioner's not working, just bring it in, let us look at it. Worst case scenario, you're just going to be out the $49.95 for us to tell you exactly what's wrong with it. But we have a full team of technicians here that can work on all makes and models. And we know that it's not the right time of year to have your AC out. So please come see us if you have any issues with your vehicle.
Now, Rhodes has been here a long, long time, and there's a reason for that.
So, I mean, it's our 90th year in business this year, and we're all very excited about that. I'd like to think that it's because we really care about our customers, not just to sell you a car, but to be your car dealer for life. We want to develop a relationship with you, and that doesn't have to start with purchasing a car. If you've got a question, if you've got a problem, we really care about the people here in Crawford County, Sebastian County, and we want to be your car dealer for life.
Make a new friend or come see an old one today at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crickhopper.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You put me in the Wolverine of you and death. It was still September. Daddy was quite surprised to find you with the working girl. Smoking with the boys upstairs.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, I feel like I've done my good work for the day. I'm turning listeners back into kids again. JB wanted a photo of Johnny Bench, his all-time hero, and I sent that to him. Seth and Rogers asked for Stan Musial. That went along. And I guess I can take a couple more requests because there's another commercial break. But once we get through the show, I think that may be it. It'll be 877-377-6963 if you got those requests. This one won't get into the Hall of Fame. You know one aspect? I wonder if they've ever done this before here. I'd have to ask Josh. Hall of Fame of stupid injuries. They don't do that kind of thing, though. You know, Marty Cordova falling asleep in the tanning bed might be my favorite of all time. He had blisters all over his body. What was it, Jeff Kent carrying deer meat? Was that him, or was that him? That I remember he lied about washing his truck. So I was washing his truck. He was really popping wheelies with a motorcycle. Here's one for you. And we've had like a rash of these dumb injuries recently, Matt. You had the guy that kicked a wall in the dugout, broke his foot. You had a guy who punched the wall in the back of the dugout and broke his hand. This one seems about the same as that one. Mason Miller, a pitcher of the A's, he was an all-star. Was a little bit ticked off that one of the coaches told him when he was done pitching after he'd gone through what he thought was most of the routine is he had to lift weights. He didn't like that. Pounds the table with his left hand, breaks his pinky on his non-pitching hand, so it does make me think he can still get out there and pitch. But that would belong on the list of stupid injuries, and it's been a rash of them this month.
You know, those athletes are creatures of habits, and sometimes they don't like being sprung something new. You know, you go in thinking you got your day kind of planned, and sometimes it's tough. But the professional thing to do right there when your coach wants you to get a workout in is you got to go. You can't be a baby about it. You got to go get your workout. You got to go get your lift in.
And he's doing that, and I don't know where that game was taking place, but next year he's going to have to do it at a AAA stadium where there very well could be AAA players using the workout facility at the same time. It's just going to be very, very odd.
Did you see the deal with so surfing? We were talking about how you have USC and UCLA. They got to travel over 10,000 miles this year to play their college football games. So the French Providence, I don't know if it's called a Providence, but they're definitely owned by France in Tahiti. It's 10,000 miles away from Paris. That's where the gold medal. That's where they're going to be doing the surfing championships. So that's pretty cool. But it won't even be close. Won't even be close to Paris, France.
It's a French
speaking nation,
or is it a French territory?
There you go, Providence territory, whatever you want to say. But that's what I'm. Yeah, they're owned by the French. They pay French taxes.
And how far away? It's
10K.
It's well, that makes Oklahoma City look like it's next door to Los Angeles. For what is it that Oklahoma City's hosting?
Canoeing.
But it's another word, canoe slalom, not just canoeing, canoe slalom and softball.
And softball, absolutely. Where else would you host softball? No.
I agree. You see what Salt Lake City just got a Winter Olympics in 2030. Is it 2 or 4? Yeah. I think it's 2 because they're every couple of years off that, and that makes sense. I think the Olympic Committee is considering Salt Lake City as a potential forever host city for Winter Olympics.
As they should. Yeah, it's beautiful. Have you been to? I was Salt Lake City when I was 12, and it was almost like out of a movie. You know, the mountains with the snow covered, and it was pretty cool.
Got an interesting question here from Jamie in Fayetteville on the text line. Any Hall of Fame members, baseballers, who won Olympic medals? And I don't know.
When did baseball get in the Olympics?
So it's not in this year's Olympics. It was taken out. I think it's coming back for Los Angeles. But at the top of my head, I can't think of any. Tom Lasorda. I think Lasorda. Now he wasn't a player for the U.S. Olympic team, but I think he managed the team that beat Cuba. I remember Ben Sheets, who was a really good pitcher for the Brewers, came out of Louisiana, Lafayette. And he was the ace of that team in a couple of big games. I think Lasorda won. I think he was the manager of that team. So he would have a gold medal, and he's in the Hall of Fame here too. Otherwise, I think the first time baseball was played, Matt, was 84. Randy Johnson might have been on that team. I know Mark McGwire was. They were both USC players, so Randy Johnson could very well have a gold medal too. He's obviously in the Hall of Fame, but Mark McGwire is not. McGwire's in the museum aspect of it because you can't tell the story of baseball without the 98 home run chase, but he's not. He hadn't been eligible for a long, long time over there. 877-377-6963 to get with us here. You started off the show talking about the potential idea that walk-ons could be eliminated depending upon which leagues decide to take the full 105 scholarships, or even if there's going to be an option for that. I guess there is. I find myself, I don't agree with Dabo Swinney with a lot of things. But he's very much against this, and I feel like I'm against it too. It's just it's one of those traditions I feel like still belongs in sports, and it's still a way that you can develop somebody from, someone that might not have been good enough to get a scholarship, the first year or two, and then a couple of years later, you get we've all seen those videos. Guy leaves the team mid-season. There's a scholarship available. Coach gives it to one of the walk-ons, and the place goes absolutely nuts. And it feels like that's one of the things that'll kind of dwindle away with this change in college sports too. And that's nothing that anybody was calling for, right? I mean, the idea of paying athletes what they're worth for name, image, and likeness, I think that makes perfect sense. I think the idea of paying athletes directly from the university, since these athletic departments are, bringing in massive amounts of money, I think that makes sense. I don't know anybody that was calling for the elimination of walk-ons, Matt. That just comes out of nowhere.
Do you see a scenario where they go more like the NBA model, where if you're an in-state guy, you can get a little more, but it's going to be a cap? It's like we got to start capping it, where if you want a quarterback, he can get up to $2 million, but that's the cap, or $3, whatever the number's going to be. But it's that way. There's not some infinite number that it is. That everybody has a certain number that you kind of got to stay in between.
So the cap is something people have been calling for, Matt, and I don't think you can have a cap on NIL dollars. That's an artificial thing, and that's essentially supposed to be coming from outside entities. It's not salary. I don't think you can cap NIL. Payments to players from university athletic departments, now that I think you can cap if it's agreed upon. Now, that's what this settlement might potentially be all about. In this case, if you're part of a conference, then theoretically you're part of like-minded athletic departments. Send your jokes in about Vanderbilt football and Missouri baseball and things like that, but they are all part of the same conference. Do you think maybe, and this is where I'm getting into like your idea of the NBA, it's all agreed upon. There's and I don't understand the new structure of the NBA with the first apron and the second apron and all of that. But what about the idea of, if you're going to be in this league and you get this many scholarships, and we are paying players upwards of $15 million, not individually, but for the football team itself, salary floor, salary cap. And then at that point, we're all talking a little bit more of like an even playing field, at least in terms of dollar figures going from athletic departments to athletes. Now, that's independent of NIL and independent of any of the under-the-table stuff that still will be happening, too. If we think all that stuff is going away, we're going to be we're very, very naive. But I do think that that's an opportunity, Matt, to maybe cap earnings, but I think that also needs to go along with a salary floor.
Would you have to have a union you'd have to have a players union of some kind? Because these universities, are they going to represent the players? Is the conference going to represent the players? Who represents the players?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer, but it does feel like with this settlement that's being proposed today, the long-form settlement, that the student athletes are represented by somebody. This is a class action suit, so the people that have joined the suit are represented by lawyers and whomever else is involved in that side of this case. So in that case, maybe that can get negotiated out through this specific settlement. It hasn't even been sent in to the court yet. It's happening sometime today, but yeah, if we're talking about massive changes to college sports, and the payments to players are one thing. That's a huge change. We've already had the free movement of athletes. That's one thing Mark Stoops says that makes his job really difficult. You have 100 free agents every year. That doesn't change either, because and maybe there's contracts that go along with the idea of direct payments to players. Maybe so. All of this still feels like it's in the infancy stage, Matt. So
it's
I don't know the answers.
It's cool in the NBA. If you're an all NBA first team, second team, third team, your max contract can be better. And so, like, if you're Rocket Sanders and you're an All-American, you should be able to get more than a guy that's just coming in as a freshman. So if you're an all-conference player, you should be able to get more than other guys. So there should be some type of way to go about. But then
there's like a structure of, like, if you're here for 3 years and we're using you this amount of plays, like, you can get this kind of money compared to what you got as a freshman, right?
But then it becomes into pay for performance, and then then I keep my heads going in a circle again.
It's exactly. It's a good thing we're not. Man, it's a good thing I never tried to go to law school. For me and anybody that would have hired me.
And Kim Kardashian.
Would not have been a good thing for anybody.
She's going to play a lawyer on TV, though, so that's going to be good, right?
Well, that makes her a lawyer then.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. It's like, it's
somebody get her on the phone. We need a Kim Kardashian segment here on the show. Get her on the phone so we can actually, like, press her on these major issues inside college sports.
Hugh Lowry is a doctor, all right? Just because he did House for over a decade, he's definitely got he's a doctor.
Leslie Nielsen was a doctor because of the movie Airplane. I mean, just don't call him Shirley.
It's a prereq.
Stay with halftime. We'll wrap things up after this.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
This is halftime.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with the exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Do you need gutters, but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leak-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. Get hooked on Sharp Equipment this year. Sharp Equipment has hooked up with Eastern Oklahoma Guide Service for a free guided fishing trip with the purchase of any Wacker Newson equipment. Along with getting a superior piece of equipment, you will get hooked up with a free guided fishing trip for the chance at a catch of a lifetime. Visit them at Sharp Equipment, 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or call them at 479-242-1406.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I had a confusing request from Chris on the text line asking for photos of Hall of Fame plaques of the kid. So
Say Hey Kid?
Well, see, there's 3 of them, and I didn't even think of Willie Mays because I don't think of him as the kid. I thought of him as Say Hey. But you're right. He could be Say Hey Willie, Say Hey the kid, Say Hey Kid, absolutely. But Ken Griffey Jr. was the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Carter was kid. He wasn't the kid. He was kid. And then Ted Williams was known as the kid too when he first came up.
What is Barry Larkin in there?
Larkin's in. Yes.
What was his nickname? Was he something with the kid too? Or
I don't think he had one. I think he was just Barry.
Yeah. Okay.
Barry is a cool name enough, right? Bonds didn't have a nickname, but I'm sure there were some nicknames that some of his teammates had for him that we can't say on the air.
That's right. Barry was such a good. I mean, he was a good enough player that his play made up for it. No, even though who's the third baseman? This the human vacuum cleaner, isn't he from Arkansas?
Brooks Robinson.
Yeah.
Yep. He was. That's right. And he's right next to George Kell. You know, they were in the same Hall of Fame class, though Kell was considerably older than Brooks. But I know the two of them were friends for a long time. They both are from Arkansas, and Kell was from Newport. And Brooks, of course, you know, he's from Little Rock and was proud about that. And George Kell lived out the remainder of his years after he retired. Heck, this is what you got to love about a guy like George Kell. He wasn't just a great third baseman. He was a great broadcaster with the Tigers. He did a lot of their television games. But he never moved there. He stayed in Arkansas, and he would fly out. The Tigers would fly him out there for their games whenever he was on the schedule. He never left Arkansas. You got to appreciate something like that.
Smoltzy's pretty good. Is it Steve Garvey? Is he pretty? Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Garvey's not in the Hall of Fame. He'd be in the Hall of Very Good, and you know he's running for Senate this year on the GOP ticket in California. Yep.
Good for him.
Yeah, Garvey'd be one of those guys. It's like from all those Dodgers teams of the 70s that were really, really good. And then I saw Garvey play in the World Series with the Padres. How many of those Dodgers players actually got in? Ron Cey, is he in? Thinking, some of these guys I can't even remember for some reason. But I don't know many of them that are in that Hall of Fame.
Well, and I was thinking of announcers that are ball players that were Hall of Famers that are equally as good as in announcing. And I know Smoltzy's pretty good, but then I was thinking Garvey might be in the Hall of Fame. But I don't know any of the other guys that if there any other Hall of Famers are doing that.
Okay, Chris told me he meant Griffey. That's the kid. So he's right. I mean, he asked for a photo of the kid. Gary Carter wasn't the kid. He was Kid. And Williams had like a bunch of other nicknames too. Probably known more as the Splendid Splinter.
The combat pilot.
Yeah, then there too. And there's one really neat thing inside the hall here on their plaques is just below the plaque. It does feature the branch of the military that they served and the war that they served in.
That's
so
cool.
You got Ted there with both World War II and Korea.
Patriot.
underneath him.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a lot of fun. This has been a crazy week, hasn't it, Matt? I know you'll sleep really well this weekend.
Well, it was. I asked Gabe, I said, what was your favorite part of the trip? And he said the Yankee game. He said that was pretty cool. So I was like, I bet that was. Yeah.
Well, we've had a great time, and looking forward to getting back home. And when we do get back home, Matt, we'll be like exactly a month away from kickoff. So, and it'll also be August, so it'll be pretty heavy into football once we do that. Appreciate everybody's texts, your requests, your calls, and listening while we've been out here for these 2 days. And also thanks for at least letting me just sort of geek out on baseball live on the air here at Cooperstown, because that's what you got to do. I appreciate your indulgence. And thanks to Matt, and thanks to Christian. And if you missed anything, the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast will have it later on here where you can download it. For Matt and Christian, I'm Phil. That's halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.
Hey, folks, here at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, Crawford County.